All right, it's the fourth round at Roland Garros, and this is usually when things start to get crazy. We've got great matchups in the fourth round, and the third round, though, kind of went by with not much going on. There was literally no upsets on the men's side in the third round. So that's interesting. But we're going to look at the big guys. Yannick Sinner coming through the draw in the smoothest fashion out of all of them. Is he the favorite to win right now based on his current form? He's just been baptizing people. We're going to look at all the matchups, predict every match in round 4, and get prepared for what they call the sharp end of the tournament. So this is the slice presented by Betway. Let's get stuck into this French Open fourth round. So we're here, and as Coach Connor Casey said on the slice a little bit ago, Yannick Sinner is sociopathically destroying everyone. He beat Yuri Lehechka, very good player, 6-0, 6-1, 6-2 in like an hour and a half. And yeah, it's just something that I expected him to win probably in straight sets, but Yuri Lehechka is a great player. Like these are the types of wins you usually see in the first or second round. But seriously, that's scary. So if you're playing Sinner, I would be a little worried. But before we get into that, quick shout out to our sponsors. The slice is presented by Betway. If you're going to bet the responsible way and have a little bit of fun with some action, use Betway. They have an amazing interface on their app, and I put custom content on there that you can see my picks. So check that out, the link below. Also check out Go Sport, the official tennis bag of the slice, and they are giving you a promo during the tournament. You can use the code below to get 10% off your bag. If you thought I deserve a better tennis bag, you probably do. This one looks like it was customized for you. You can customize how the storage works. It's beautiful. Check out Go Sport below, and shout out to both those brands for helping the show go on. Speaking of the show go on, the show rolls on for Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic as they cruise through the draw pretty much here. But Sinner, as I said, has been cruising through with the most ease, with playing more than an hour less on court than any of the other top seeds here at Roland Garros. So Sinner's been on court for less than 6 hours, 5 hours, 46 minutes, while Zverev's been on for 7 hours, 21. Djokovic 7 hours 11, Alcaraz 7 hours 19. So he's winning the damage control race so far as keeping his body fresh, I would say. So is he looking the best? Leave your thoughts below on who do you think so far is looking the best. But yeah, like I said, round 3, I don't think you often see that. Literally no upsets in round 3 on the men's side of the draw. You look through here, all the matches, the higher seed won. I guess technically with fees withdrawing, that's technically an upset, but they didn't play, so I'm not going to count it. Draper destroys Fonseca. That's a match that we thought might be a time for Fonseca to really pose a threat. Draper says no. 1 hour 46 minutes destruction. Yeah, and he just looked like the adult in the room. Like on every shot category, he won a significant amount more points. And yeah, just played a cleaner match. You saw Fonseca have obviously some points where you're like, oh my gosh, this kid's incredible, but then he wasn't able to replicate those points a lot. 32 winners to 20 unforced errors for Jack, 23 winners to 38 unforced errors for Joao. Not going to get it done. So definitely smoother sailing for Jack than I think a lot of people maybe predicted. But yeah, going through the list as well, Zverev takes out Kaboli pretty smoothly. Griekspoor comes through over Quinn. Norrie comes over through Finley. Quinn, that was a 5-setter, obviously. Djokovic over Misalik, no problem. 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. That was not unexpected. We were hoping that Shapovalov was there, but he couldn't get it done. Musetti comes back after dropping the first. Holger Rune comes through in 5, so that was one of the 5-setters. But as you can see, there's a lot of straight sets. Tiafoe over Korda, straight sets. Wasn't really expecting that either. Altmaier through, Poprin through in straights. Tommy Paul through in a war. 12 seed over that 24 seed Hachinov. That was very impressive from Tommy. That's 2 5-setters in a row that he's played. So what is he going to have left in the tank? But yeah, as you can see, no upsets. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, but it's not very common. And yeah, there's stability. I think that's why we have these great fourth round matches that we can see here. So without further ado, let's get into predicting them and breaking down the matches. So Sinner, Rublev. How are we feeling about Sinner, Rublev? I think that Sinner will most likely destroy Rublev. I don't want to, no disrespect, but to me, that seems the way that Sinner's been playing, like I said, just sociopathically destroying people. Also with a ridiculous Barney outfit, green and purple, literally looks like Barney. But he literally sent Gasquet into retirement 6-3, 6-0, 6-4, baptized Yuri Lehechka 6-0, 6-1, 6-2. And now he's there to play Rublev, who Rublev is, he's had a decent year outside of the big tournaments where he's had to play the big guys. He lost to Fonseca in Australia, and now he's playing Sinner. And I really have a hard time imagining him taking a set off Sinner, which seems crazy. I know, because it's like he's theoretically a guy who should be challenging for majors, but the delta between Sinner and Rublev there seems extremely high to me. So I'm going with Sinner in that match. Not a crazy prediction by any means. And then Bublik versus Draper. Yeah, I'm going with Draper. I'm predicting Draper to win. Bublik's had a good run, fourth round. He took out, who did he take out? Now I'm forgetting. Well, he took out Medvedev, I think. No, he didn't. No, he took out, Demon Hour. And then Duckworth, then Demon Hour, then Rocha. But yeah, Jack Draper is on a bit of another level right now. And that's my pick to win. So Draper, if he comes through Bublik, he will play Sinner in the quarterfinals, which that is just a marquee matchup. Maybe Draper has the power to hurt Sinner and get it to tie breaks and see what we have or see what happens. I don't think really Rublev does. I think his game's too flat to really hurt Sinner. And I think Bublik's game is just not the level to really stop Jack if Jack doesn't explode himself. So definitely picking Sinner and Draper to come through there. Then we've got Zverev versus Griekspoor. And now Zverev's impressed me. Kaboli's a good player, handled him pretty well. Griekspoor probably will be tired. Not the lightest, nimblest player out there after a 5-setter versus Quinn. So I'm predicting Zverev to come through there. I would be probably shocked if it was 3 sets, but picking Zverev, Griekspoor though, is dangerous, but probably less so, I would say, on the clay for him. Cam Norrie, that name is popped back up now as he's made the 4th round after almost sliding into obscurity. He will play the man, Novak Djokovic. So will this be Djokovic's first real test? Potentially. Norrie, left-hander on clay. How well can Norrie's big lefty swinging forehand work to open up the court and hurt Djokovic and make him move? Will he hold up physically? These are the questions you got to ask now with Djokovic, right? We talked about before. He's on the run from Geneva through to here. He won 4 matches in Geneva. Now he's won 3 matches here. So he's on a 7-match win streak. That's good. How's the body holding up? He's been on court for 7 hours and 11 minutes so far. No big super long matches or anything, so that's good. No super physical matches. How's it going to hold up versus Norrie? That's the question. So we don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But I will predict Djokovic to come through that because it'd be kind of insane not to. Let's just be honest. Now to the bottom half, Musetti versus Holger Rune. That is a great match, and that's a tough one. That is a banger because Musetti has had the best. He probably he had the best or one of the. Let's say he had the best clay court swing without winning a tournament. Alcaraz won Monte Carlo. Holger Rune won Barcelona. Draper, or who won Madrid? Now I'm forgetting. Did Rublev win Madrid? No, Casper Ruud, sorry. Casper Ruud won Madrid, but Musetti made like the semifinals of final of every tournament he played, but Holger Rune won Barcelona. So how do we predict this one? Well, Rune's got the strength. He's a thicker, stronger guy than Musetti. Musetti's got more confidence maybe right now. Holger Rune, he beat Alcaraz to win Barcelona, so he should be confident, but Musetti's just been playing at a higher level for longer. So maybe when in the tight moments of the match, he's going to believe in himself more. But yeah, really, that should be a battle, and that's going to be one you should watch for sure. So Musetti Runa, that's tough. I'm going to go with my gut and pick Musetti, but my gut is like upset over that. I'm not super confident in that, but I will pick Musetti, but that's one where I could definitely be wrong. Holger Rune could easily win that match, and if he did, you would say, yeah, he deserved it. He'd been building up to this to make the quarterfinals of the French, so that's a tough one. Two guys I really like on the clay, battling it out in the fourth round frenzy. Tiafoe Altmaier. This is an interesting one as well, I think, because Altmaier is super dangerous on the clay. I think everyone knows that now. So I'm actually going to pick an upset here. I'm going to pick Altmaier to take out Tiafoe because I think Altmaier's got the game, the power on the clay that can hurt a guy like Tiafoe. He's more, I think in general, just more comfortable on the clay. He seems to be, that's where he gets most of his upsets just from memory are on the clay. So I think that's a ripe spot for an upset there. Altmaier over Tiafoe. How do you like it? Let me know. And now we're on to the bottom quarter there. Poprin versus Tommy Paul. The odds actually have Poprin as the favorite on Betway, I believe, because probably of 2 Paul 5-setters in a row. So I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to say that physically, I think Paul wasn't 100%, and I'm in that Khachanov match. So yeah, I'm going to roll with Poprin, even though I don't feel great about that one either. If Paul's healthy, he's the better player. But I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But that's another upset. I'm calling Poprin over Paul. Then we got Ben Shelton versus Carlos Alcaraz. That's just a match you love to see if you're a tennis fan, because Carlos Alcaraz, the incumbent here at the French Open, Ben Shelton's got the game that everyone thinks about. It's so dynamic. It's so big. Some of his kick serves on the clay here just are ridiculous. But I honestly think the lack of repetitiveness to Ben's game, the creativity that he plays with, is going to keep Alcaraz engaged throughout the match. And it could be a straight set win for Alcaraz because of that. But Ben also has the game to definitely take sets off Alcaraz if he stays focused. So it's all about holding, I would say, serve for Ben. So if he's getting broken, that's not good. But he can also get into Alcaraz games here if Alcaraz is missing a ton of first serves. So that'll be interesting. I'm definitely picking Alcaraz, but that's going to be one that you want to circle. So if I was going to circle matches to watch, I would be watching Ben Shelton, Alcaraz. I'd be watching Musetti Runa. Yeah. And Sinner Rublev will be good. All these matches are great, but if I only had to watch a couple, I'd watch those ones. So those are great matches. Let's look at the women's singles now and go through there as well and make our predictions for the fourth round. Sabalenka and Anisimova. That's a great match. You got to love that match. I'm picking Anisimova. Sorry. I'm picking Sabalenka because I just can't get away from her now, but that is a great match. That's one to circle as well. And then Qinwen Zhang versus Samsonova. I'm going to go with Zhang as well. I like her. I feel confident in her on the clay, and she took out Victoria Mboko in 2 sets. So that means she's playing extremely well. Let's be honest, because Vicky Mboko is the truth. So we're looking at Sabalenka Zhang in the quarterfinals based on my predictions. Paolini Svitolina. I'm leaning Paolini. She's special on the clay, and I'm not going to try and mess with that. Rybakina Swiatek. I'm going Swiatek. That is all the hate. She gets a lot of hate these days, and some of it's very warranted, but this is her court. She has won this title multiple times. So I'm going with her over Rybakina. Mira Andreeva versus Kasatkina. I'm going Andreeva. The teenager, 6 seed, very confident. Pegula over Boisson. Pegula, let's run it back. Pegula versus Andreeva. That's a great matchup. And then Madison Keys won by the skin of her teeth today against Sofia Kenin. Literally had to save multiple match points. So her versus Haley Baptiste. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Keys, but again, if she plays like she did today, she could easily lose that. And then Coco Gauff versus Alexandrova. I'm going Coco Gauff. So not really any big upsets I'm calling there, but there are a lot of Americans on both sides. Let's look at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 on the women's. 5 American women. And how many American men we have? 1, 2, 3, 3. So 5 American women, 3 American men. I'm not American. I don't care. But the sad thing is there's no Canadians. But those are predictions for the 4th round. Why don't we look at, since this is getting out a bit earlier today, why don't we look at the order of play for June 1st, Sunday, June 1st in Paris on Court Philippe Chatrier. We've got Paolini versus Svitolina, great match. Then Rybakina versus Swiatek, great match. Then Shelton versus Alcaraz, great match. Then Musetti versus Runa, incredible match. So that is just an absolutely sick match, sick ticket if you got the day session at Court Philippe Chatrier or the night session. Let's be honest, that's almost guaranteed to be more than 3 sets in the night session. And then on Suzanne Lenglen, Poprin versus Paul to start, Samsonova versus Zhang, Sabalenka versus Anisimova, and Tiafoe versus Altmaier. That is great. So those 2 courts have unreal lineups for Sunday. So if I was in Paris, I'd be considering dropping the big bucks if I had to get tickets. But yeah, leave your thoughts below. Who's looking the best to you? Djokovic, Sinner, Alcaraz, Zverev. We haven't really talked about him, but I'm just going to not talk about him until he makes the quarterfinals to play Djokovic potentially. And then that's going to be a massive, massive match where that's a repeat of the semifinals of the Australian Open. And I feel like that's a very winnable match for both guys, but that'll be big time if they make it there. So let me know what you think about my predictions. Thanks for being here. Shout out to Betway. Shout out to Go Sport. We will see you next time here on the show. See you next time.